Good morning! Today, let's talk about an important topic that many working individuals encounter, house rent allowances, H.R.A. It's an allowance provided by employers to help employees with their housing expenses. Have you come across this term before?
Yes, sir. I've heard about it. It's a part of the salary package that some companies offer to their employees to help them with their rental costs, right?
Exactly. When employees are required to live away from their hometown or the company's office location, they often face higher living expenses, especially when it comes to renting a house or apartment. To support them, companies offer house rent allowances as a component of their salary.
So, how does house rent allowances work? Is it like a fixed amount for everyone?
That's a great question. House rent allowances is generally a percentage of the employee's basic salary, typically ranging from 30% to 50%. However, it can vary depending on the company's policies in the city in which the employee resides. In case of those employees living in metropolitan cities might receive a higher house rent allowances due to the higher rental costs.
Is the entire house rent allowances amount given to the employee?
Not necessarily. The actual house rent allowances that the employee receives depends on their rental expenses and some other factors. It is usually calculated based on three conditions: the actual rent paid by the employee, the amount specified by the employer, and a few other factors like the city's population and the employee's salary.
What happens if the actual rent paid by the employee is less than the house rent allowances specified by the employer?
In that case, the actual rent paid by the employee becomes the house rent allowances amount that they will receive. If the rent paid by the employee exceeds rupees 1 lakh per year, then the employer needs to collect the landlord's PAN, permanent account number, and provide it to the company. This is done to claim tax benefits on house rent allowances.
Ah, so house rent allowances is related to taxes as well?
Yes, you're right. House rent allowances is tax deductible under certain conditions. The house rent allowances amount that an employee receives is partially exempt from income tax. This exemption is the lowest of the following three amounts. The actual house rent allowances received: 50% of the employee's basic salary for metro cities, or 40% for non-metro cities, and the actual rent paid minus 10% of the basic salary.
I see. So, the house rent allowances amount helps reduce the taxable income for employees.
Absolutely, it's a significant benefit for many employees, as it reduces their tax liability and eases their financial burden related to housing expenses. However, it's crucial to keep proper documentation of rent receipts and other related documents to avail of the tax benefits.
This has been quite helpful. Thank you, sir, for explaining how house rent allowances works.
You're welcome. Understanding house rent allowances is essential for anyone working in the job market. So I'm glad we could discuss it today. If you have any more questions or need further clarification, feel free to ask.
Okay, sir. Once again, thanks a lot, sir. You are very nice, sir.